All right, what's a big topic on these BXs? A big complaint, I guess, and what's a good solution for them that people always ask about is your stabilizers. They use the little turnbuckles from the factory, which are very aggravating in my opinion. I've heard some people comment, and on the Facebook forums and things, and say they don't mind them. If they don't mind them, they're probably not switching out implements very often, would be my thoughts on that. A lot of times we'll switch out implements pretty regular. On this tractor, between the 3-point blade and the land plane, got a little dirt scoop we'll use on it occasionally, and then just between mowing and using something on the back, like this blade stays on it the most, and it's just so much easier not to have those turnbuckles. So Messick's has designed a set of stabilizers that you can buy. They're $189. Some people said there's a guy, Mark Hodge or something, but I think he's on back order. I hadn't heard of him until I made these and made some posts on them. But I was wanting to show you all kind of how you could make your own stabilizer if you wanted to, give you some measurements and things to help you out if you're able to fabricate, got somebody to help fabricate. I teach welding at a high school. You might could find a local high school shop to help you. I had my students work on these one day, took the tractor up there and stuff, and we made them. And I'll show you kind of here what we got. Started just to make one, which would have worked, one on one side, because them Massey Fergusons, I just use one stabilizer. Works just fine. But as you can tell, you still got just a little bit of movement, but not bad at all. That's not enough to matter. If it's too tight, you wouldn't be able to get your pins in and out. But I'll get this blade off here, and we'll look at them a little closer. There you go. You got your stabilizers unhooked. Unhook your top one. And she's off. That's actually the first time I've unhooked that blade since putting these on there. Alright, here's your stabilizers. See it, they'll go all the way out, all the way in. You pretty much have a hole that'll work at small increments in about any position. I've got 3 holes in the tube and 3 holes in the other piece. That should give you 9 adjustments, I guess. I haven't really, I guess, because 3 times 3 is 9. But I drilled them all, made sure they was equal on both sides. That way when you do adjust it, want to swing it side to side or whatever, you can do that. I know the ones you buy have more holes, but for me this is plenty. If you wanted to put more in yours, you could. But let me get a tape measure and we'll get some measurements. Alright, I'd posted these stabilizers on the Kubota BX network, and I'd had some questions about dimensions. And what I want to do is be able to help you build your own, because it's cheap and easy to do. What I used here is a piece of, it's 11 gauge, which is the 1/8 of an inch wall thickness, 1 inch by 2 inch rectangular tubing. And this here, we cut it at 1.5 inches wide by 1/2 inch thick. Flat bar, so you get your piece of 1.5 inch flat bar. 5/8 thick might be the best, but I didn't have any 5/8, but 1/2 inch works fine. Should be plenty strong. Then on these ends, this is just 1/4 by 1.5 inch flat bar that we used. Now I'll give you the overall length of everything. Your square tubing, we cut it at 9 inches. The flat bar that goes up inside of here, it was cut at 8 inches. And the brackets on this end are 2.5 inches long. We set back from the end at 1/2 inch from the end to the center of that hole for that pin. Same way with this one, 3/8 from the end of the plate to the center of that hole, and we just kind of rounded them off to make them look better. These plates are 4.5 inches long. We just set back up on this plate. From this corner here, it's set up 1.5 inches back onto that plate and turned at a little bit of an angle. That angle, the best way to get that, it don't matter a whole lot as long as it clears this pin and stuff right here. You just want to get it. What we did, we just put that up on the tractor. I held it up there, lined the bolt holes up, marked it, and then we welded it in place. What you will have to do if you use 1/2 inch thick plate here is we put a washer as a spacer underneath one of these and welded it in between there to act as a little bit of spacer, so you got some clearance right here where the mouth of that goes over the ear on your 3-point arm. Now, these holes here are starting from the end at 1 inch centers. So if you start from the end, 1 inch center, center that into the center of that, and 1 inch, center that into that one is 1 inch. Now, the holes inside of there, I think I can get you some measurements on. The first hole from the end of the plate is at 3/4 of an inch to the center. From that hole to the middle hole is 1.5 inches. And from the middle hole to the last one is 1.25 inches. We kind of offset those holes just a little bit. Instead of doing them at equal measurements, we made them 3 different spacings. Then that way they line up with the other 3 holes. They'll line up with these 3 holes at different increments. So yeah, it gives you a bigger amount of adjustments. I also know, like on my M6060, it has a slotted hole that you can use to give you a little bit of sway side to side. That wouldn't be hard to do if anybody wanted to do that. I just didn't really see the need to on this one. But what we did, we just used some 1/2 inch bolts because I didn't have any pins, smooth pins, but I just used a 1/2 inch bolt, welded a nut on it. That leaves that top on there. That leaves that sticking up to where you can get your hand in there and pull it out real easy. And I didn't put a keeper in there. I might should. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I've never used a keeper on my M6060, and I've never lost one out. I have lost one. That's just because I laid it down somewhere and drove off and left it. But it'd be easy to drill a hole in there and put you a little small lynch pin or something so it wouldn't bounce out if you wanted to, which I might end up doing. But anyways, I hope that helps somebody out. These plates up here, they're 2.5 inches long. I can't remember if I said that. But anyways, I just welded them outside to outside of that tubing, and that way, you know, you got some slop up and down, but that don't matter really. That gives you a little bit of play. It's something you don't really want too tight to get in a bind, and that will make it difficult, just like the turnbuckles. If you have all this stuff too tight, too close to tolerances, it'll make it harder to get things loose and lined up and all that. So in this situation, you want just a little bit of slack, in my opinion, to give you room to get everything lined up. Because I know on my M6060, the pin holes and everything is drilled really close tolerances, and sometimes it's a little bit hard to get them out. If you get pressure one side or the other, it's hard to pull them pins out. You have to get things positioned just right. Most of the time it works good though. But anyways, we'll get the blade back on here. I'll let y'all watch doing that and show you kind of how easy it is, and go from there. What I went ahead and did is pinned them in their outermost position. That way when you're backing up to something or getting ready to hook up, your arms are already spread out. This blade I'll just kind of lay over, and then you can adjust them from there. Alright, there it is. Gonna be a whole lot better than them stupid turnbuckles. Right here's one of them. See, you can't even get them to hang on the wall. They're just there to aggravate you and make you want to pull your hair out. That's Clayton. He used to really get frustrated with them. He'll not tell you, but he did. But anyways, hope y'all like the video. If you will, please like, subscribe, comment. Hope it's helped some of you. Maybe you can be able to build your own. If not, check out Messick's. I do know that they have them for $189 right now. But y'all have a good one.